You remember the first time you saw $70,000 on a job offer? Maybe it was on your laptop screen. Maybe it was in an email. Maybe it was during a phone call, and you tried really hard to sound calm while your brain was screaming. $70,000. It felt like you had crossed into real adult money. You could finally breathe. You weren't barely scraping by anymore. You could upgrade your apartment, replace the car that made weird noises, say yes to dinner without checking your bank balance first. And for a little while, you felt rich. But then a year goes by. You check your savings account. It's okay, but not impressive. Your retirement account is growing, but slowly. An unexpected $2,000 expense still stresses you out. You're earning more than ever, but you don't feel secure. And that's confusing. Because on paper, $70,000 sounds like success. So why doesn't it translate into wealth? Today we're talking about the middle income trap and why $70,000 feels rich, but often isn't. My name is Sarah, and I love saving and making money. If you're someone who feels like you should be further ahead financially, even though your income looks solid on paper, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Let's challenge a huge assumption right away. We've been trained to believe that income equals wealth. If I just make more money, I'll be fine. If I just hit that next salary level, everything changes. Here's the problem. Income is not wealth. Income is fuel. Wealth is what you keep. According to the US Census Bureau, median household income in the United States is around the mid $70,000 range. Median individual income is closer to $45,000. So yes, $70,000 as an individual puts you above average. But here's what most people don't realize. Above average income does not automatically mean above average financial security. Let's break down the math. If you make $70,000 a year, after federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare, you might take home around $52,000 to $55,000 depending on where you live and your filing status. Let's use $54,000 to keep it simple. That's $4,500 per month hitting your bank account. Now, let's subtract normal life. Rent or mortgage. In many cities, $1,500 to $2,200. Let's say $1,900. Utilities and internet, $300. Groceries, $500. Car payment. The average new car payment in the US is over $700 according to recent automotive data. Let's assume you're more conservative and you're at $450. Car insurance and gas? Another $300. Health insurance premiums and out-of-pocket costs. Maybe $400. Phone, subscriptions, random spending? $300. We're already at roughly $4,150. And we haven't talked about dining out, travel, gifts, clothing, home repairs, medical surprises, or helping family. Suddenly, that $4,500 doesn't look like freedom. It looks tight. If you're saving $300 to $500 per month, that's $3,600 to $6,000 per year. Now let's apply some math. If you invest $5,000 per year at a 7% return, after 20 years, you'd have around $205,000. After 30 years, maybe $472,000. After 40 years, you might finally cross $1 million. That's 4 decades. That's not I'm rich. That's I worked my whole career. This is where it gets really interesting. The middle income trap isn't about being broke. It's about being comfortable enough to stop pushing, but not wealthy enough to stop worrying. Psychologically, $70,000 triggers something powerful. It signals adulthood, stability, respectability. You're not struggling like you were at $35,000. So you upgrade. Better apartment, nicer furniture, slightly fancier vacations, a car that matches your new identity. None of it feels reckless. It feels earned. But here's what most people don't realize. Lifestyle inflation expands to fill available income almost perfectly. There's a concept in behavioral psychology called hedonic adaptation. It means humans rapidly adjust to improved circumstances. The new apartment feels amazing for 3 months, then it becomes normal. The higher income feels exciting until it's just your salary. Your baseline resets. And once your baseline resets, your expenses lock in. Now you need over $4,000 a month just to maintain normal. That's the trap. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Alex. Alex graduated and started at $48,000, shared an apartment, drove an old Honda, saved modestly. At 29, Alex landed a job paying $72,000. Celebration, new place, new car lease, gym membership at the premium studio. Within a year, fixed monthly expenses jumped by nearly $1,200. Savings barely increased. Alex felt richer, but net worth barely moved. At the same time, Alex's coworker Jenna also made around $70,000. But Jenna kept her housing costs low for 3 extra years, drove her paid-off car, automated 25% of her take-home pay into index funds. By 35, she had over $150,000 invested. Alex had under $30,000. Same income bracket, completely different trajectory. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Sarah, but $70,000 isn't bad. Plenty of people make less. Absolutely. This isn't about minimizing anyone's effort. It's about understanding that wealth depends on the gap between income and expenses, not income alone. Think of it like this. If your income is water flowing into a bucket, and your expenses are holes in the bucket, your wealth is how much water actually stays. You can pour more water in, but if the holes get bigger at the same time, the level doesn't rise. Middle income earners often increase the size of the holes just as fast as they increase the flow. And here's where it gets frustrating. Inflation makes it worse. Adjusted for inflation, $70,000 today does not buy what $70,000 bought 20 years ago. Housing, healthcare, and education have risen faster than overall inflation. That squeezes the middle harder than most. High earners have margin. Lower income households may qualify for assistance. Middle earners often get neither. So they sit in this strange space, earning enough to disqualify them from help, but not enough to build serious wealth without intentional discipline. This is the middle income trap. And here's what most people don't realize. The trap is psychological before it's mathematical. At $70,000, you feel successful enough to relax. You stop aggressively negotiating raises. You stop tracking spending carefully. You stop questioning big purchases. You assume, I'm fine. But fine is expensive. Let's look at savings rates. If you make $70,000 and save 10%, that's $7,000 per year. If you save 20%, that's $14,000 per year. The difference over 25 years at 7%, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. At $7,000 per year for 25 years at 7%, you'd have roughly $482,000. At $14,000 per year, you'd have roughly $885,000. Same income, different habits. Now let's talk identity. When you see yourself as middle class and comfortable, you subconsciously defend that lifestyle. You think, people at my level drive this kind of car, live in this kind of place, take this kind of trip. You anchor to your peer group, and that anchoring is expensive. Financially successful people often delay that identity upgrade. They build assets first, then upgrade lifestyle later. Middle-income earners often do it in reverse. They upgrade lifestyle first and hope income catches up. Now let's get practical. How do you avoid the middle-income trap? First, measure your savings rate, not your salary. Your savings rate is your true financial progress indicator. If it's under 15%, that's your first lever. Second, cap lifestyle upgrades. When your income increases, decide in advance how much of the raise you'll allow yourself to spend. I recommend at least 50% of every raise goes straight to investments. Third, audit fixed expenses. Housing and transportation are usually the biggest. A $400 difference in rent invested at 7% over 20 years can turn into over $200,000. That's not small. Fourth, automate investing before you adjust spending. Make the money disappear into investments before your lifestyle expands. Fifth, redefine rich. Rich is not a salary. Rich is options. Rich is not panicking when you lose a job. Rich is having investments that grow while you sleep. And here's something slightly uncomfortable. At $70,000, you are close enough to build wealth, but only if you're intentional. If you drift, you plateau. Plateaus feel stable, but financially, they're dangerous. Time will multiply whatever you're doing right now. If you're saving aggressively, time makes you wealthy. If you're barely saving, time just makes you older. That might sound blunt, I say it because I want you to win. The middle income trap isn't permanent. It's a phase, but only if you recognize it. If you make around $70,000, you have a powerful opportunity. You have enough income to create serious momentum if you build a wide enough gap between what you earn and what you spend. Don't let the comfort trick you. Let it motivate you. Use this income level as a launch pad, not a landing spot. Run your numbers. Increase your savings rate by 5% this year. Delay one major lifestyle upgrade. Invest the difference. Because rich is a feeling, wealth is math, and math rewards discipline over time. If this video challenged the way you think about income, hit subscribe. Share this with someone who just got that big raise. And in the comments, tell me your savings rate, not your salary. Let's normalize building wealth instead of just earning income. I'll see you in the next one.